Many near-death experience stories feature a life review, and here are a couple of summaries that define what that is. The Being of Light presents the dying with a panoramic review of everything they've ever done. That is, they relive every act they've ever done to other people and come away feeling that love is the most important thing in life. A life review, seeing and re-experiencing major and trivial events of one's life, sometimes from the perspective of the other people involved, and coming to some conclusion about the adequacy of that life and what changes are needed. Swedenborg affirms that an honest look at your life will be crucial in order to allow you to progress toward heaven. This is from Secrets of Heaven. We will be led gradually toward heaven by a knowledge of truth and goodness and an acknowledgement of our own nature. Unless we acknowledge who we are and learn what is true and good, we can never be led there. The life review then is not for the sake of accusing and shaming. Far from it. It'll be to help you understand which things about your life have been aligned with God's love and which haven't. What's important to God may be very different than you've been taught or have thought. Here's a description from the IAND's website of someone watching their life review in the presence of God.
I actually could feel the joy each person felt when I touched their life in a loving way. I was getting caught doing something right for once in my life. Reviewing my random acts of kindness gave me the most joy because I was able to feel the difference I made in someone's life that I hadn't realized at the time, and I didn't even know them. Little acts of kindness mean so much to God. Also, I had to see and feel all the hurtful things I had done, even the hurtful things I didn't know I did. I had to feel the person's hurt I caused. But God was not judging me. I was looking at my actions with God at my side, loving me, while I was judging myself. And believe me, no one can judge me any harsher than I already judge myself. He was asking me, what different choices could you have made? What are you learning from this? This was clearly not the punishing God I had been taught to believe in. The hardest part of this was realizing He had already forgiven me. I was having a hard time forgiving myself. He showed me that I couldn't let His love in without first forgiving myself. Punishing myself didn't make me better in His eyes. Accepting His love was what He wanted from me. Once I was able to accept that God only loved, it was easier for me to openly and honestly look at my life.
Acknowledgement is the first step toward change. And this life review will help you see what needs changing. It'll allow you to sort out what kinds of habits and attitudes you want to keep and what you need to reject in order to progress toward heavenly love. There's imagery in the Bible that's referring to this life review. And I saw the dead, great and small, standing before the throne, and books were opened. Another book was opened, which is the book of life. The dead were judged according to what they'd done, as recorded in the books. In the life review story we just read, the person perceived that the judgment was coming from herself rather than from God. The truth of God shone a light on her life story, allowing her to clearly see what was heavenly and what wasn't. In that quote from Revelation, the book of life represents that heavenly mindset, or what it takes to live in heaven. The individual books represent people's individual life stories, which have to be compared against the book of life to see what it takes to live in heaven. And this judgment scene in the book of Revelation is not about God pointing fingers and throwing offenders into hell. It's about God opening up the true story of your life on earth, the story you yourself have written through your own choices, to help you have a clearer understanding about how to move forward. Then you'll have the freedom to accept that truth and learn how to progress toward heaven, or reject that truth and run toward hell. It seems that the life review can happen in different ways, actually. In NDE stories, it often sounds like a movie being projected in front of the person. And here's a description from Swedenborg in which it actually manifests in books. I saw some books with writing in them like earthly writing, and was told that they had come from the memories of the people who had written them, that not a single word was missing that had been in the book they had written in the world. I was also told that all the least details could be retrieved, even things the person had forgotten in the world. The reason for this was explained as well, namely that we have an outer and an inner memory. The details of what we have thought, intended, said, and done, even what we've heard and seen, are inscribed on our inner or spiritual memory. There's no way to erase anything there, since everything is written at once on our spirit itself and on the parts of our spiritual body. This means that our spirit is formed in accord with what we have thought and what we have done intentionally.